go ahead and take a look at some of the other elements within the UnitsPro app that I'm sure you're going to be very interested in. We're going to log in as a project manager. And here we have design jobs, complete work, timesheet review, add jobs, my timesheets, log out, spec documents, reference documents, and help. So let's just go right down the list. Design jobs is where a job has been entered into UnitsPro and has been given to a project manager, general foreman, superintendent, someone to go walk the job. So here's a lump sum test job that I've set up for this. And it loads in and it shows how many hours were estimated. I did a little bit of factoring in this job, and I'll show you exactly how that works and what the total factor is for the overall job. Here's all the locations, and again, if we go into a location, we can see the details. So that was a bad one to go into because it's 0. Let's go to the next one. And this has 6 hours associated with it. So the task here is to ostensibly do a mini estimate for each location on this distribution job. Do the same thing for transmission jobs. Substations are broken down a little bit differently. If you're doing water mains, gas lines, anything that you can unitize, we try to break it up into some sort of geographical element, and then from there lay in the units. So here you can see what's been included at this location, and the person walking the job can add or edit, and the objective is to get the scope of the work right. They can also go through and enter a value to factor, so we can factor on many different levels within UnitsPro. This job is set up to allow factoring at both the location level, and I'll show you at a job level. So we could modify this, factor these hours up because of the conditions at that location. Whatever the GF is looking at that says, hey, I know I need 8 hours here, so I can go ahead and factor this up, or again, add the right units to get it correct. So if we go back at the main level here, we have a factor that we can factor for the entire job. We also have this division factor. Some utilities have a set of units, and that set of units applies to the entire territory. And then instead of negotiating different units for different territories, what they do is they negotiate a factor. So one of our customers has a rural factor, which is a 1. They have a suburban factor, which is a 1.1. And they have a metro factor, this would be downtown Chicago, for example, which is a 1.25. So all the units fit, but this division factor is based on where they're working. Global factor is across the entire job. So this is a very handy tool to get out there and take a look at the job and get your takeoff correct, so that the business decision on how you're going to price this thing can be made knowing that you understand fully what the work scope is. Complete work. So earlier you saw that as part of time entry, we can go into complete work. And here's that sample job that we did for the time entry demo. So we can just go straight away into this and do some updates. Typically during the week something is missed. People come out and do a review. So here they can go through and they can independently do the updates. And again, the objective is to pick up all the billable units so that you're getting the revenue that you've truly earned. timesheet review. Let's go into this. And this is the one that we did in the demo, so let's go take a look at that. And we'll show you the time review in both the app and in the main system. Most reviewers prefer to use the main system, and you'll see why in a few minutes. But for right now, let's just go in here, take a look at that day, and you can see what we've got. Go ahead and do a good thorough look at by job, and if you're satisfied with it, approve it. Or we could have alternately rejected it and sent it back to the foreman for corrections with comments. So that's pretty doggone straightforward. This data now goes into the UnitsPro payroll module, where it's put together in a batch, and again it allows the payroll person to pre-review and approve, get things right. What we found in working with many of the accounting systems is that once you move payroll data into that system, it's pretty rigorous to modify or to get it back out. So in UnitsPro, we give you the opportunity to have a submission by a foreman, we have review processes that can be assigned, and approval processes, pushes to payroll, get it right, batch it, automatically push it into your payroll system or accounting system that does the payroll for you. Try to simplify all of this, but make it a very rigorous process so that it's disciplined and executed flawlessly week after week. So you can see that's now approved. We've got some pending days down here too, and these gentlemen were not going to work this days, so we can go ahead and zero those pending out. So there's one more day left here. So let's go ahead and pick that up while we're in here. Just gotta approve it. Go back. Go back. Now we see that Mr. Windsor's week is now approved. So that's timesheet review in the app. Pretty simple, but even simpler in the main system, where most reviewers like to go through and work at their desktop rather than on a phone. Add jobs. People can be assigned to add jobs. Add jobs is predominantly used for T&E work or service center work. Often a crew foreman has to accommodate multiple jobs in a day. The system allows them to go ahead and add jobs, and by adding those jobs, they can now push that information again into the accounting system. Very quick setup. We can default this to auto configure a job number sequentially. This is the owner's work order, work request, job number, how they do it, description, the type of billing. This one was a T&E, master project, IOs. Usually there's some hierarchy to the owner's information. Then what region? Again, if this was a Units job, this division would be very important because it's going to accommodate the need to factor the units appropriately. So very simple to add a project from the field. My timesheets, we've been through that. We're going to go down and take a look at these spec documents. This is exceedingly popular with our customers. We've taken this owner's construction units and we've loaded them all into UnitsPro, and every time they issue an update, we go through and update this data so that now your crew has this information readily available at their fingertips on their phone or their tablet, whatever is device that you're providing to them. And again, if the device is tethered to a printer, this can be printed, else emailed. So very easy to access. Very popular, very popular. We can do the same thing with any information, any documents, and so for your organization's reference documents, we can go ahead and load any forms, policies, any material that's necessary to get out to the crews. So, we have several enhancements on the works for release in the next 2 quarters, and we'll share those with you as they come out. But right now our primary customers are dictating our roadmap, and we're working on a couple of pretty nifty app enhancements for those primary customers. So next video we're going to go into the main app, do time review there, look at how this thing pushes billing through, and at that point hopefully you've seen enough that you're going to give us a call and ask for a demo.